I've learned through trial and error that the very best that we can offer is to quiet our own desires and our own imagination and to be still before God and say, what do you have for us? Because that is when we will be our best. The more we seek God's face, the more we're seeking God's words, the more we're seeking God's will, our own desires will be pushed aside. And I think we'll find that the direction God is bringing us is better than what we could dream. In the kingdom of God, everyone belongs and everyone has a place and no one is forgotten. And if we really want to dig deep and think about when has God been the most faithful to us and when has God carried us through and when perhaps did we actually experience the most growth, it wasn't tied to certain circumstances necessarily. It was when we woke up and we continued to choose Christ. And I think through the process of that, of really pouring yourself back into a God who has poured God's self out into us, we do experience these wonderful, wonderful moments in life that shape us. And as God continues to shape us, we become more of who God made us to be. And the more we grow in the image of God, the more we can bear the light of Christ in the world. The same is true for the lows, right? Like we're still being shaped in the lows. Just because God did not cause the pain in your life doesn't mean that God can't use it. And what kind of gifts is God stirring in us in our own sorrow and despair that one day when we find our hope again, we have a message for somebody in the middle of theirs that says, I'm sorry you're hurting. I don't believe God caused this pain in you, but I believe that God is with you and I'll sit with you until you feel better. Having walked through something so painful that other people walk through can be really useful for the kingdom of God. And I think when you've been in a valley in your life, you can think through the people that maybe sat with you, or they brought you food, or they cut your grass, or they kept calling even though you didn't answer. It's almost like those people are one of the ways that God is showing us in our worst moments, like, I'm still there. And so then when you meet somebody that's going through something similar or not similar, but just as heavy, you get to be the light of Christ in a way that God was shining in your life before.